Morning to everybody, or good afternoon, just a minute later. So, in about a minute, we'll be joined by our other panelists. This is Startup Sunday, the informal boardroom with startup founders and CEOs. And very warm welcome to everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Whether you're on Vidphone TV, whether you're on Facebook Live, we're also on YouTube Live. Really looking forward to this edition. It's a wonderful Sunday here in Bangalore. Hi, Ananya.
Hi, Jagat. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Long time.
Yeah, after a long time.
Thanks. I think really nice of you to accept the invite, and thanks for coming. I think let's see how the 1 hour goes. A bit of knowledge sharing and challenges, right? So what's been up? I mean, of course, we'll do an introduction like the others. How are you? How are things?
I'm good. I mean, I don't know how 2020 passed. I mean, we are in December, so kind of things changed a lot over the last 1 year, I think. And it has been good and bad both, but right now working really in an interesting role, working with a lot of startups. So I was kind of on the back foot when this came that I have to share a couple of problems. Then I decided that yes, the startups that I'm working with, I would share their problems. Hi, Kirti.
Hello, Ananya. How are you?
I'm good. I think we are meeting for the first time.
Correct.
So quick introductions. Kirti, she runs, Pi Technologies, GetPY.biz is their platform. She's Prabhu and Kirti are well known to me at NASCOM 10K. Ananya was, we met at an event, Ananya, along with your partner at that time. I think Amol,
Right.
I'm not sure. I think
Amar was there, yes.
Unico, I think.
Yeah.
So up to you two. I think we'll just wait for Vijetha to come in. By the time, feel free to introduce yourself.
Sure.
Yes. I would love to hear about the product. I took a look at very briefly at your LinkedIn profile. So just for introduction, because Jagat, I have already met Jagat.
Okay, great. Yeah, so we are into retail tech. Okay, and we are helping small and medium-sized retailers come online. Okay, and and increase their sales. That's the primary motto.
Right, great. So, I mean, how did 2020 treat you? I mean, this is one question I think that we are all looking at right now.
Yes, so we have pivoted. Actually, originally, what our product was, we had to pivot. Just like many other startups, we had to pivot. We pivoted for good, actually. I would call it because our fitment in the market seems much more reasonable now. Okay, so it's like I wouldn't say that pivot was a bad decision. I think it has helped us. It's a bigger push for the business overall. So yeah, but again, a lot of challenges have come, which I'm going to speak about.
Right.
So Ananya, please tell us about
things have
yourself.
changed. I have been a lawyer, a startup mentor, and also have been the co-founder of a marketplace for local part-time and short-term jobs for the US and Europe market. Unfortunately, during COVID, the business that we had and that we planned and the brand positioning we had was completely something that could not be operated because of the lockdown. And we ran out for a fund, and when we actually recrunched the numbers, we thought about pivoting what are the other ways, and it just did not continue to be a very sustainable and profitable business. It kind of became turned into a lifestyle business, which we did not want to build for the Europe market. So we stopped, and I had some time. So started working as a fellow with the Varvani Foundation. And currently, I am coaching about 50 plus startups around India in the National Atal Innovation Mission incubators around India,
Mhm.
and helped four companies launch in the last few months. So, but I have seen how the market has shifted, how customers' priorities have shifted, and how people, the way they make decisions have changed, right?
Correct.
So I think I would be talking about a couple of those problems that I am seeing right now in the market and in the startups, and especially product startups. And I think I would be discussing about those.
Great. Sure. So Jagat, this is Vidphone, right? And I'm really loving it actually. It's comparable, rather I would say, like, slightly couple of things I'm liking more than Zoom itself.
You made my day. Thanks, Kirti. No, the
Earlier
truth is,
also I have used.
yeah,
Earlier also I have used.
yeah.
You helped
So,
us.
so Jagat 2020 has been really great for you, right?
No, not really.
Because
It's not like that. I think it's both ways. Like, obviously, what's happening health wise, is not good for people. That's really sad.
True.
At the same time, I think we're seeing, like, we've been building this. I think Kirti also knows, like, probably from 2016, Akhil and I have been kind of focused on video, right? Things have kind of happened faster than they would if in a normal scenario. But at the same time, like, all of our competition is like giving free product, right? It's what we call capital dumping at some level. When
right,
you plan your whole business model based on the industry rate, which, like, let's say 500 to 1,000 rupees per host per month, and then the big competition is able to kind of go put that for zero, pretty much like how Geo does. That makes
right,
it difficult for startups like us. We have to pivot. We have to kind of, like you said, we all. It's a good thing because category selling has happened today. Video has become the norm. That was not there, but at the same time, there's a lot of intense competition right now. So for us, the focus to differentiate, to work closer with our customers. So yeah, that's how. So welcome, Vijetha. So good afternoon.
Hey guys, I managed to do something to my internet. Sorry about that. So I, I'm
Okay.
not in my hometown, so that's why I'm struggling at times. So I apologize for that. So it's nice to see everyone here. Thank you, Ananya. Thank you, Kirti, and of course, thank you, Jagat, for giving us this platform. So steady roll right into the Startup Sunday, the informal boardroom. So Jagat, we definitely have to give our guests the privilege first. Okay. So I mean, I do of course know Ananya and I know Kirti for some time, but guys, what we would like to do is, Ananya, if you're comfortable first, you definitely will talk about yourself, but and equally importantly, you talk about the two challenges that you're facing as a startup founder, as an entrepreneur, which can then be for put into, like, what can Jagat and Kirti and maybe some of our audience who's joined in, maybe some suggestions from them will help us. So we keep it crisp, we keep it very focused and bullet pointed. And over to you, Ananya, please.
right. Hi, Vijeta. Really good to see you here. I just share my screen very
Yeah, please,
quickly.
please, please, please go ahead.
Um, and so, hi, this is Ananya Banerjee, and I'm the author of Success for Startups. I'm a startup mentor, have been a lawyer, and I was also the co-founder and CEO of Earnyt Global Limited. It was a platform for on-location, short-time and part-time job in Europe and USA market. So coming back to the challenges that product companies are right now facing and will be facing is the most important one has been the shift in customers' prioritization and customer purchase behavior, and that is actually affecting the customer experience journey. So I have seen this in my own startup. I have seen this with the startups that I am currently working with, some of the startups I'm mentoring. So there is a huge shift in prioritization globally. And so this has been a challenge for product companies, especially the companies who were built pre-COVID, right? And the next one, the challenge was competition mapping for building the right product or finding the right product positioning. So again, since COVID, things have changed, competitions have changed, the alternatives that existed have changed. So the way we used to look at competition, the way we used to map, those things have changed. So the kind of right product positioning, of course, for the existing startups and also for new startups, this has become a little more challenging right now, or even right something that we have to think about redo. That is another thing I wanted to talk about. And the big picture of startups that in general I have seen in some cases for product companies that was missing. As in, while we are looking at every small aspect of the product and looking at the details, sometimes we miss out on the bigger picture, like as in how the product would operate in the market, how the customer would interact, somewhere related to the customer experience journey. But yes, looking at the big picture is something that I have seen
Okay.
missing.
Got it. So Ananya, so this is
So
the
that's
question
it.
that, yeah, understood. So Ananya, what kind of help do you want from Kirti and Jagat and from the other founders who are here? That's the specific thing that you have to put on the chat so that the audience can see it. And then we will come to Jagat and Kirti and ask them how they can help you. Okay. So type these things out on the chat itself, specifically to your company. All right. So if you think that Kirti or Jagat can give some insights to you, please do that. All right. So now I
Right.
would like to go to Kirti. Kirti, would you like to share your two challenges that you're specifically facing in your startup and in your company?
Sure.
You can screen share, no problem.
Yeah. So a quick introduction about us, the founders. I'm Kirti. I graduated from BITS Pilani in 2001. And since then, I worked for a couple of, very well-known organizations. And after that, I started my entrepreneurial dream. And since then, I am working in sales and also playing the role of a CEO. Prabhu, who's the CTO, he is our co-founder. He's from NIT Allahabad, and he also worked in very reputed organizations prior to starting GetPy. Okay, so at this point of time, where we stand is that we had to pivot from what we were doing in April. Okay. And since we pivoted, we had to make a lot of changes in our product. And we went live in November 2020, which is almost a month back, we went live with our new solution. Okay. So within a month, we have 2000 plus downloads. And at this point of time, because of our earlier existence in the market and same SMB sector, okay, we have good number of partnerships, we have good POS partners with us, reseller partners with us, distributors, 1000 plus retailers are there in our network already. Okay, so the biggest challenge that I'm facing right now is hiring the field staff in COVID times. Okay, my problem is not that of lead generation. We are able to generate good amount of leads. Okay, we are very active on social media, and we have partners, reseller partners. We are doing good digital marketing, Facebook ads, Google ads, etc. Okay, so all these things are there in place for lead generation. But what our challenge is that we still need field sales staff. Okay, a field staff to convert. Okay, we have got the leads, now we have a conversion. So that trust develops only when people are there in the field. Okay, so that hiring of the field sales, field sales staff is a very big problem for us. What we have tried earlier is we have placed ads on social media for hiring. We have placed ads in colleges, BBA and commerce colleges, and we have registered on affordable. It has to be affordable platforms, job platforms like Internshala, Apna, etc. Then the next thing that we did and we have tried earlier is the second challenge is reducing the go live time due to our customers not being tech savvy. Okay, so this is the reason why we have to have field staff also. So both the challenges are interrelated if you see. Okay, so they are not tech savvy, because of which our go live time. So if we onboard a store today, okay, it will take us something in between 10 to 12 days for them to go live and they can start taking the orders. Okay, full-fledged. So a lot of hand holding is required at some point of time. A lot of trainings is required. A lot of face-to-face discussions are required. Okay, so this is what we are doing so far. What we have done is we have prepared a lot of training videos, which we keep sending them as WhatsApp messages. We have prepared FAQs, okay, which we again keep sharing on a day-to-day basis for very important things like, have you updated your price for today for vegetables or something like that. Okay, we have set up WhatsApp support groups and we have set up a dedicated phone support. So this is what we have done so far, and these are our two challenges.
Nice, nice. So, Kirti, I think this is very, very well put. So just make sure that you post it on the chat window as well. So Jagat and Ananya have got this as a reference point. Okay.
Sure, sure.
Next, Jagat, would you like to go next? And thank you so much.
Yes,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Please. Thanks, Jagat. Very bright and colorful, huh?
Now I'm just trying to get this download so that.
Yeah. So this is the advantage of Kirti and Ananya. You guys are just lawyers or whatever it is, but our man knows how to bring color into the game. Good.
Wow, I finally, the biggest comment I've always had is about our UI UX. So I decided let's focus, and I think when you concentrate on things, I think things happen. Anyway, so
please.
thanks everyone for joining in. Thanks, Vijetha. I know you're not in Bangalore, but you've taken the time out as usual. So Vidphone, helping startups, and I would also say, enterprises now grow using what we call the video business model. Okay, and what are the couple of main problems that we face today? One, of course, is, as a lot of us know, I mean, we've been obviously trying to do a lot with the community, right? Startups, founders, bring together. Because I think one of the ways every startup I think will grow is only if we have a very vibrant peer-to-peer startup ecosystem, right? I think that's very important when the startups are kind of helping each other. So we try to build this. So obviously inputs from Ananya and Kirti, and also of course Vijetha and the audience on how do we better build more communities. We have a few initiatives. Second is, of course, how do we work closer with our customers, right? So we've been able to offer video conferencing and all these features, but clearly there is some kind of video meeting fatigue. There are certain challenges with scheduling meetings, etc. So how do we better build solutions? Obviously, we have Vmail, which is asynchronous video chat, one of the first in the world. We have a permanent video link, and of course, few more things. How else can we improve, or work closer with our customers, right? So these are a couple of main inputs that I would like to get. Yeah, thanks.
Okay. So what I would like to, you, Jagat, of course, it goes for you as well. You put your challenges here, and also let the audience also know about your company. So just you can also put your links of your if you want website link or whatever, so people can take a look at that. Okay, so that makes it easier for us. All right. So we'll just reverse the order now. So I think I have seen. I have not seen. Kirti, did you put your challenges here?
No,
Have you
I'm
put
just putting it now.
Oh, okay, okay. Sorry. Okay, then we'll go to Ananya. All right, Ananya, I just want to break this down, but okay, because we need to. Okay, sorry. Okay, we'll go to Kirti first. Let's start because she's done it. Hiring field staff. Okay, lead generation is not a challenge, but you're not, getting field staff, getting good quality people is always a problem. So, Kirti, are you only hiring field staff in Bangalore, in Karnataka, or beyond? Like, what is? I mean, can you just give us a better idea of that?
Sure. So, we learned from our experiences, Vijeta. Earlier, in Dubai, we had customers in Qatar. Okay, all those places. We were global, actually.
Hmm.
Defocused. Okay. And now the only target we have is Karnataka for the time being.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you only want people, but Karnataka means where? I mean, you're saying Mysore. I just try to understand it. Mysore,
Tier
Bangalore.
2, Tier 3 cities. Tier
Okay.
2, Tier 3 cities. And our customers is also we have a well-defined customer outline, if you see. So
Okay.
we are looking for those people who are selling more than 30,000 barcode products who have, those supermarkets. They are our customers.
Okay.
So we have a very clear line of who our customers are. So in Karnataka, in Tier 2, Tier 3 cities, they are also our targets, okay, along with Bangalore, of course.
Okay. I got that. So what you put is hiring field staff, and you're looking
Yeah,
at the smaller towns, Tier 1, Tier 2. Plus the second one that you put is reducing the go live time due to our customers not being tech savvy. So you have to do a lot of work on trainings, hand holding. And I'm
right.
assuming that how are you doing this? You said you have videos. And are you also doing some personalized training sessions face to face using video calls or whatever? How are you doing it?
Yes. So this is the reason why I need the field sales staff actually. Like, what they do is they have to visit what is the challenge that they are facing. And they
Okay.
go there, they physically, tell them that this is how you have to use the application. If you get this message, this is the option.
Hmm. Understood. So I think Ananya and Jagat, this is a common problem that is going to be faced by all people in product companies, isn't it? Okay, Kirti, we got it. So now who would like to go first in offering some kind of inputs on this? Ananya first or Jagat? Whoever wants to go
Yeah.
first, please go ahead.
Yeah. So I would say that, Kirti, you have already kind of identified the solution as well, hiring field staff. But I would say that, have you given a thought about hiring someone tech savvy from these localities, like having one champion who would be tech savvy and would be based locally? They might not be the sales staff, they might be a training staff, so that they would not require any sales staff to go and explain these things to them. But at the same time, because of their geographical position, they might be able to leverage that and actually train your retailers fast and get them onboarded and start the
Right.
life cycle. Right. So it would be easier to get from someone tech savvy and teaching them rather than getting to someone who's not tech savvy. Right. So if you could identify these local trainers and train them, they would help your retailers to get onboarded. Right.
Right.
So that might be of help. I mean, that I would say.
Yes. Yes. So, yeah, the people with whom we are dealing with, they are, uh, apart from not being tech savvy, this market is very, delicate actually. If we spend a lot of time actually in understanding this market itself. So, if you see, uh, the another challenge in placing a staff is also that trust factor. If we hire a tech savvy guy, okay, and over there we depute this person, if they don't like this person, it becomes very difficult. It becomes more difficult actually. That trust is lost. The whole community of businesses is lost in that particular area. They are all connected people. Okay, so
Right.
understanding the social dynamics is also a part of our journey. So what, we do is typically we hire people who have a business background, who can relate what is the technology for their business and speak in their language. Okay, so it's very important to speak their language, what their problem is and how they can solve it. Ultimately, their goal is sales, and
Yeah.
our goal
Right.
is to make them materialize the sales. So
Right.
Yeah, and if you go to Mangalore, Udupi, or these kind of places, Kannada and Tulu, you have to have people who know this kind of language. It
yes,
Yes.
won't help. Yeah,
Absolutely.
it won't help if they know. So, I mean, this is something that I just want to understand, right? See, I know that Indian mentality is such that we prefer face to face. We want to have the trust factor. But Kirti, to scale up, right? I see this is a big problem for you. You will never be able to scale up if you have to have foot on the ground all the time. So is this something that you can digitalize it and make it like a principle that you have so much of beautiful content, easy to access, and something you have to just think differently. Otherwise, it's going to be very very tough for you. And imagine that if you go from here, you go to say West Bengal, or you go to a Bengali, you need someone who's like and you don't know Bengali.
right, right.
So how do
So in
you?
West Bengal itself, you would need some three languages to sell throughout West Bengal, right? So you would need people fluent in three languages to be able to sell around West Bengal itself.
And so
So
that's a
I mean,
problem for the
you
future. But it's a problem for
True.
the
yeah.
future for Kirti. But again, it's still something that we have to think of. Jagat, what do you think Kirti can do? Because she has this is a very serious chain, right? The social dynamics, getting the right staff, spending a lot of time and effort on training the team and also training the customers. I don't think you may have this problem, or maybe Ananya doesn't have this problem. But for Kirti, because she's in the retail sector, this is a big challenge. What do you think she can do for this?
I think obviously I know the business little bit. I mean, I haven't deep dived into their product, too much. But I think one is of course the goal that we build video also overall has been about this, right? So a transaction can happen over video in Canada also. or in any other language. So you're sitting in your main head office, and all you need is maybe 5 people who know, let's say, 2 languages or something like this, and they can kind of do it. So video trainings, I think, as long as you're running a web-based SaaS, you can screen share, have your team doing it. So that's definitely one way. I know that they had used it a little bit as a support line from UAE, and
Yeah.
of course, I think that's still a good option. So a lot of what we build today, I think, is stuff for that, right? It is to be able to address these challenges, and these are common challenges across all businesses, not even startups, but even enterprises. In fact, I'm talking to one of the largest car manufacturers. We're doing a deal with them, and this was a discussion that I had almost 1.5, 2 years ago, where I said you could
Mhm.
virtually. So today, everyone is coming onto that. So I think because this is the most scalable way. When you look at, it's not one face to face. This is face to face, and I think challenge is, yes, you can't do Zoom calls with these people. Right? They
Yeah.
don't still. Zoom is too complicated for them.
True.
So hopefully, Vidphone will not be that, because we also work with healthcare, rural areas healthcare, rural areas education. So also retail. In fact, I did some POCs with some people here in Bangalore at MG Road and other areas where people you could live shop. I think I've discussed this with you, where the customers can click a button and video chat with the shop, and that's beginning to happen. So I think, yeah, the model should be, I feel, less of feet on street. But if you have found something over the few years that you have kind of gained that expertise, then I think it should be a good mix. But still, the tilt should be more virtualization and some element of real meetings. This
Mhm.
is my view on that, right?
Right, right. So this is something that we plan to try now, actually next. That is, we are going to build one geographical area, and one sales staff caters to something like 50 customers in that geography. Okay, so that is something which is yet to be tried, and we are planning to work on that next. So that is the next thing that we are trying. So I mean, let's see how it works out.
I think this thing, the trainings will also be very important. Like, I think in the chat also it's written, because this is the
Yeah.
first time probably many of these tier 2, tier 3 smaller supermarkets. I think you're not looking at the more and the larger ones, right? You're looking at the
No, no,
more,
they are not our customers.
yeah?
They are not our
So,
customers.
it will already be the first time. So they have to think about whether they're the first time they'll be using a solution like yours, or anything in that space, or is it
Mhm.
something they're switching from? Like for us, 2 years back, it was many people. It was the first time they were actually using good, like kind of conferencing. Like Skype and Hangouts was there, but with things like support or with sales, with webinar, it was the first time they were doing it. But today, what's happened is it's become like we have to switch people from other platforms because of some benefit.
Mhm.
So even in your case, I think and the training would be important. You'd have to outreach, maybe some webinars, to keep them in the loop. And then I think
Mhm.
stories, and then things rebound from there. And because of that local presence, your virality will be more, because the word of mouth locally will spread more than
Yes,
like.
yes,
So,
true. So sales is not a problem actually for us. It's a good thing that has happened after pivot, that we really found our product fitment. Okay, so that is something very good. That sales is not a problem for us. In our earlier business model, we had a hard time convincing the customer to use our product. So here, once they have something like in a day, something like 6 to 10 orders coming in, they know, yes, this is something useful and they need to learn it. But till the time they understand that they need to learn it, that time period is something like 12 to 15 days also. Sometimes it goes to 15 days also. So that is a very long time. I mean, 15 days for just one customer, I think that needs to be reduced to not more than 3 days to start with. And so this is my immediate short term goal. I want to reduce the time cycle to 3 days. That's my
maybe we
immediate
have
goal.
some kind of automated webinar, like a series. There's, after they sign in, there's a kind of automated tutorial that they go through, right?
Okay.
And you can kind of make it like a
Can you
3 day.
suggest some tools, Jagat? Can you suggest some tools on that?
I don't like to be selling Vidphone on Startup Sunday, honestly, but Vidphone we have for these kind of use cases where you do a 3-4 webinar series. Like if you go to our website, we have different series of LXS Startup Sunday. The whole idea is to have like a tutorial and simple links and then you have it in your guided tour in your app, right? It can also be one of the sections there, right? It could be a 3-day challenge, and so they go there.
So Vidphone is providing this.
Yeah, you can record videos. You can, this is basically like a live stream that you're recording, and you'll be sharing, do all that. So we can connect sometime, and I'll run you through. But that would help your onboarding because.
And I can send it like a video to those people or like a link to those people.
Yeah, you have the link. All that. So the main thing I'm saying is, don't also just keep it that and in fact, we need to implement this in our own products. Right? This is the whole advantage of this platform. When I give an idea, I think, okay, I can implement also. So it's good for everyone. One thing is, don't just make it as a tooltip or a help section. Make it like a 3-day challenge, and targeting your particular TG. So it's a gamified thing for them. And they go through that video and the checkbox. Might take a couple of days to build out a small module, but you can put it in the app, in the web thing. They can go through. Because you're having the activation problem. Acquisition is not the problem. Activation is the problem.
Correct.
So that activation kind of, with training, I think we can solve that. So
yes.
That's we'll try to kind of see what happens. Ananya,
yes, thank you so much. This was really helpful, actually.
No, I think, Jagat, what you have said made a lot of sense. I also agree with that. And the reason why I was talking about the ambassador, because this is something that we have done with some companies which are actually selling to small business owners in tier 2-3 cities. So this is a good model in the sense, if you can figure out exactly which kind of people you need to get on board. And when I talk tech savvy, I don't talk about technical people. I say that people who would understand how to operate a mobile application and how to get onboarded. So if you can find these ambassadors in different regions, and in the back end, if you can create these video tutorials, while your customers would be able to go through the video tutorial, and if they understand, they would immediately be able to get onboarded. But if they do not understand, they could reach out to someone local, and they would be able to help them one-on-one, right? So I think that will reduce your time, and obviously you would measure everything that you are doing. You would look at the data whether it is working or not. But this is something that one of the companies I have worked with has done, and it has worked really well, especially when they started scaling up in different tier 2 cities around India. So this became very important because of the language barrier, different cultural barrier. So it was not possible for the founders to understand everything. So that is why they have created this distributor influencer market around India. So it's working really well. So this is,
Great.
So I see that, user experience for product is something that Ananya is also talking about. In fact, we did discuss a lot about Kirti also, right? Because you have to make the user experience so easy for the owner who's paying you and for the staff and the user. It has to be done very, very seamlessly. They should know that any help is available on tap. And I think, one thing that we should be very clear here, all the largest, whether it is Salesforce or HubSpot or, Jagat, let's be clear, right? Even if it is Google Meet or Microsoft Teams or Zoom, you don't really talk to someone. It is sorted out online, right? You have to figure it out on your own. You don't have any help.
We just lost Vijetha a little bit. Yeah, he's back.
He's back.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So I was just saying, Jagat, so you will become like an edtech company, yeah, Jagat, if you have to prepare all these tutorials and other things also. So you have to reframe your way to your new investors.
No, see, I'll tell you. While you said that all of the issues get solved with this customer support, like online, no contact, no touch customer support, it's not actually true. I'll tell you, we've been trying to push out our iOS, that is our Apple app, for 1 year. And because we compete with FaceTime and we compete with other players who probably have, payments, etc., we don't know. It's been 1 year that we've been trying to push the app onto the App Store. I would say while I use a Mac and I use the iPhone, but it's the worst experience ever I've had. And we have invested lakhs onto this. We buy Macs, we buy iPhones, we pay the developer license. We spend huge amount of man hours on iOS app development, and it takes 1 year to push an app. Just to give you a context, we push around 200 updates, continuous deployment onto our App Store, on Play Store. On Android, we do 200 updates a year. That's like an update every 2 weeks. Right? That's continuous deployment. And Apple, it is stuck. And now they go into Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year, and they're disappeared. On one side, it's okay, but that's where I think we are also a little differentiated, right? Any customer of ours, we are available at one click to actually have a video call, screen share, solve the issues. Because that's, I think, India's power also. We have to be a knowledge capital. We have to be, it's not only about providing a tool or a product. I think it's about providing a solution. And different people have different requirements. Like, there will be always, people like the small flavors. Some like salt more, some like less salt. And that's, I think, very important. And that's the flavor of India.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that we'd like to do. Like, I'm sure, people who have worked with us would know that we offer fairly good amount of customer support. And that's what I think about that. But with respect to Google Meet, a lot of respect to them, right? So we have similar technology as what Meet and Teams have, and we built this out almost a year and a half before they launched publicly. And now it's a question of what's next. How's 2021 going to look like? People are bored of meetings, so we have email. So we always try to move, right? That's the whole thing. It's about innovating. And they're all large companies, so they take more time to move. But the customer takes less time to move. So we have to move with the customer. So that's my views.
Understood. So so Ananya, when she's asking about user experience for a product, how to measure it, how to track it. So what are the solutions that you and Kirti can, Jagat, what can you guys think about for what she's talking about? And Ananya, if there's any specific, when you say product is very general, but what kind of product do you mean by that? I mean, do you just give some more?
Yes, I'll give my company's example only. It is a marketplace for short-term and part-time on-location jobs for Europe and USA market. The specific question was because people's customer prioritization has changed. The purchase behavior has changed due to COVID. So in a very different market, because I think you both have a lot of experience in that, including Vijetha also, that with time we also are pivoting, right? So this is based on some experience. So how are we dealing with this change? How are we measuring this difference in customer prioritization, and how are we moving forward, taking that into mind, the new purchase behavior of customers?
Kirti, you want to go first?
Okay, sure. So what we are doing is we are collecting all the metrics. Okay, so one very important metric is how many people logged in to the application. Okay, that is our weak metric at this point of time. Then comes how many people downloaded. Okay, then comes how many people are trying to order, what is it that they're searching for. So Jagat, you are an app guy, you know exactly, these metrics are so handy for us, and it's so simple to go just back to the logs and see exactly what's happening on the system, right? So what we are doing is we are collecting all those metrics, and every day, every week on a Saturday, we sit at our team meeting on Saturdays, talks only about the numbers. How many people, how many businesses, business users logged in. Okay. Did they really update any of the prices? Did they really use it? That is our challenge, actually. They don't want to use it only. Only when, on a Sunday, one of our customers got 20 orders. Okay. And then one of the customers called and said she placed the order in the morning at 7 o'clock and still my order is not arrived. Could you please check what is the reason? And then this person gets to log into the application to check, okay, fine, there are 20 odd orders sitting over there. So that is when, after that incident happened, he started using the application diligently. Okay, so these are some of the metrics that we are capturing and we are tracking on a weekly basis. Okay, our Saturday meetings are only about tracking the metrics. How many people logged in? What are the products which are being searched for? How many businesses, promoted any offers? Okay, how many push notifications sent? All those are the metrics that we keep handy and we discuss. And our goal is that, it has to be a, upward graph. It has to increase. The usage has to increase. So,
yeah, great point. Because I just mentioned there, it's that aha moment, right? So it's like gratification. Yeah. So typically, whenever you log into some application, suddenly you get a notification 1 hour later, you have 100 points. You will click on it.
True.
So that, I think, is a great lesson for us and for everybody also, right? So how can we give that early kind of? It's probably what's called it's like a carrot and stick model kind of thing.
True.
But
True.
is important. So you first give them those orders or something, give them value first, and then they will kind of come to us. Right? That's the kind of economy. Right? I think question, customer experience. Now, for example, I've always believed in video first customer experience, right? And we've been doing this for 5 years now. And today I do feel one word that is constant worldwide is virtualize, video first. And I think that's not just what I am saying, it's what today the world is saying. And now we have to start defining the precise question that you asked. What are these customer metric KRAs or KPIs that we're tracking in this video first virtualized world? So if it's going to be a school, it's a video school. And how do you then gauge students' attention? How do you gauge teacher performance? How do you gauge, these kind of things. Then if it comes to healthcare, it's how effective has the doctor-patient interaction been? How many patients have come back? How many visits is the doctor getting daily? Or if it's for business, it's how many sales calls am I able to generate? How many leads am I able to generate? How many support tickets I'm able to do? How is my team able to collaborate more efficiently using video? Because clearly video meetings like Google Meet or a Teams or Zoom, it's not solving the problem of productivity. People are just having meetings all day and they're not producing. Old world was better, where you had, normal real meetings. So that's a great question. And I increasingly feel that the answer is, of course, the attention economy. It is about attention. Today on Vidphone, I'll tell you the average kind of session per user exceeds 1.5 hours a day. So because people are on a call and boom, this is an hour, I have another 2-3 and I'm like exploded 2-3 a day. And that's just getting started. If you look at our dashboard also, it's like you have upcoming meetings. So basically from morning, your 10 o'clock meeting till your 7, you're able to have meetings, just listed on Vidphone. That's one of the important things because you're being productive. But meetings is not the only answer. So we have Vmail also, which is basically a new launch that we did, which is what we call VMS. It's like video messaging service, right? Just imagine if you had the phone without SMS. You would be on the phone whole day, right? People will go crazy. And then you get more calls and you'll be on 2 phones and people will go mad. So then you had SMS. It's what we call asynchronous messaging, which is very important. You message me and I will respond when I'm free. You don't need to be two-way like this, right? So Vmail comes in and that's very important. It's the best of video and email, like video messages. And now we start defining these. I'm working with larger companies also on customer experience, specifically with the head of customer experience. And these become very important. Attention economy. How much time has a user spent on the chat, on the platform? How many times is he engaged, right? Because he's the next in-person meeting, right? So an offline meeting you have of millions of dollars, worth on the table, but you have 5 or 6 meetings. So what is the value of that? So equating that to video. So these are it's a really good question. And I think attention economy is like the number one metric today. How deep or how much entrenched are you into the app?
So, Ananya, when you're saying that, your product is about job seekers, job users, or when I say that people are providing jobs, people are seeking jobs, correct? So what's the difference? What do you want to be your USP? Why should anyone look at you rather than, so many other portals that are there? So maybe then we can give you a perspective.
Right. So, I mean, I completely understand the enough metrics that we are following. I was rather focusing on the new market, the market that we are thinking about acquiring, right? Not the users which are already there. Because the reason why I'm talking about this is because it is an on-location job finder. Before COVID, it was more like the customers were mostly the job seekers were getting onboarded. They are seeing a job opportunity, they are booking the job opportunity, right? For businesses, this has not changed. The job requirement is still there. But for job seekers, they would think twice before getting a job on location. They would rather move towards the online or distant job, right? So work from home structure. So this has changed. The way the job seekers used to make decisions, this has changed significantly. Because this has changed significantly, the existing users are not the problem. We are measuring the KPI. But because of this, because the way the customer interact with the platform, we have to now think about new and more innovative marketing options to getting there to the job seekers. right? So to reach out to them. So this is what I was thinking about. This is what I was trying to measure, that how to do a very new market research in terms of job seekers and how to implement the marketing strategy for them. That is what I was talking about, that the prioritization has changed. They would rather sit at home not doing anything than getting a job and earning money because of the risk associated with the on location job these days. So this is what I was thinking about. I mean, really good inputs, and especially the way people's behavior is changing. That is my question. I mean, how to do that in between, right? So that. If that clears up the question, Vijeta, for you.
Yeah, much better. I think one is Vijetha. This we were also working with other people like Kutumb also, and their kind of GTM. To maybe partner with companies who have similar kind of audiences and do co-branded surveys with them. Right. That would be probably a good thing. People who are probably, and these are like, I think Kutumb described himself as the professional network of Bharat. So it is a nice way, and they're also part of the, I think, CWE at NASCOM. So that may be, they already have the audiences, and there is value add here because even they're looking to, I think, place people after their trainings, etc. And that would organically come to yours. And it's the knowledge economy, right? I think I was doing a lot of research on what is this target audience that all of us are looking probably at. And that is all this knowledge worker. And who is a knowledge or an information worker? I think this question becomes very important. Anybody who uses the internet for his work, his or her work, but I would not say only his here, I would get beaten up. Sorry, guys. So his or her, for his or her work, if you use the internet significantly, you're a knowledge worker. And this gig economy. Everything is today there are a billion knowledge workers in the world. Do we know that? It's a Gartner research. 1 billion knowledge workers. I think it happened almost 1 or 2 years ago. Today, even an Uber driver or a Oyo hotel staff is not doing not knowledge work. He's a knowledge worker. And hence, his income has compounded. If you think of what is the driver's salary before Ola or Uber, and what was the driver's salary post Ola Uber? There was also a time when the guys were making 1 lakh a month, something like this. That is significant, right? And typically they would get 10, 15, 20,000 per month. So I think the creation of this knowledge workers is the whole key shift now. How more and more people are going to become knowledge workers. And I think India is going to be the #1 knowledge country in the world. That's how we are going to be #1, because we have the youth population, extreme use of technology, English, understanding, right? Now it's all about startups creating that platforms for 10 other people to join in, benefit through ESOP salary, stuff like this, right? So that's a great mission. This is how I see it. Yeah. Hope it helps.
Interesting. So I mean, see, of course, Ananya, I think what you're saying is people prefer to sit at home rather than take a risk. Yes. So health comes first. So this is something that maybe not in your control, our control, whatever. So one has to be extremely cautious about this. Definitely the rural economy, because I think you all should read this reports. See, and I'm talking Indian context, okay? So you have the 6 cities, which includes, your 4 metros, and let's talk about Delhi, Bombay, and Kolkata, Chennai, where everyone is rushing to get a job, and Bangalore also, correct? Bangalore, Hyderabad are the two, but prefer Bangalore and Hyderabad because, and places like Pune, Lucknow, Jaipur, Indore, Bhopal, because of the cost of living is better, etc., etc. But it's just a matter of time before these cities also become a mess if they're not already there. A lot of us would say that Bangalore has reached that tipping point. Okay, so you have a situation where you may be earning good money, but your salary is not good. So maybe one of the things that you could also look at, because there's huge opportunities in the smaller towns, right? I think that's something that you should look at. But yes, if you're focused on the large companies where Microsofts or the IBMs, etc., of the world hiring thousands and thousands of people, and that is where your profit comes, then your strategy has to be very, very different. Because that's then, I mean, of course, many of them are saying that for the next 6 months, they're okay with the remote working. But maybe after July or August, they'll say, okay, we're reopening our offices. Okay, which is good for maybe a lot of people, but in Jagat will say, bye, I don't know what will happen to my business, correct? Because this is about video conferencing, etc., etc. So it's a very strange dichotomy that we're having. Okay, that like Jagat, I mean, I don't know, you get certain benefits because of the current situation.
No, it was good that you mentioned that point, and I agree with you that so if you look at it, sometimes the moment before the vaccine was launched, I think what is this company called Pfizer. So every time Pfizer put a news out, Zoom stock would keep going down. Okay,
Yeah.
it was happening because, oh God, see, it's not like that. I still believe that we didn't do video conferencing because Corona came. We did way before, and because this is more sustainable.
I
And
agree.
understands today it's more sustainable. You can have 50 meetings in a day. Well, let's not get to the productivity side, but you can efficiently have 50 meetings a day.
Yeah.
You can have 50 meetings a day on video conferencing.
Yeah. True. So Ananya, so again we come back to Ananya, right? So Ananya, give us a persona. What do you mean by like where do you make your money from, and who are the people whom you're trying to entice to use your platform or whatever it is? I think Jagat, did she get stuck on her video? Internet, yeah. Yeah, that's okay. So let's move on. So Kirti, anything for Jagat because he wants to build community. Now, how does he build community? You guys know each other. We have been part of the NASCOM. We used to sit and chat together. So
Right.
how does he build community?
So I'm not sure, Jagat, whether this will help you or not. But what, I'm just telling you from our experience, what we have recently started doing. Okay, maybe you will be able to get something for yourself. I hope it helps you. So what we have recently started doing is we have started sending. See those distributors, especially those POS redistributors, like Go Frugal has a team of their distributors. Tally has a team of their distributors, okay, the reseller partners. Okay, so what we have started doing is we have started literally we call them, okay, to our office, and we just do a casual networking over samosa and chai. Okay, and right now my WhatsApp group of all those people is more than 200 people, is more than 200 people. Okay, that means if I am updating my software, okay, my product for anything, it is reaching 200 people. They already know that I have a new feature called virtual inventory, okay, which they can start selling to their customers. Okay, and further, they are building a network of another 200 people. So I'm not sure, see, a chai and a samosa is definitely one investment that I'm making to build a community. Okay.
चाय
But
समोसा के लिए लोग कहीं भी जाएंगे. चाय समोसा के लिए कहीं भी. Anyway,
Right.
but knowing, we have a very close association with samosa and chai, even at a club in college, and I'm sure you had bits as well. So
yes.
I mean, there is a cultural discussion forum in Hyderabad. They mostly give away the space for free for such kind of programs, right? So they don't charge for events or anything. It's just a bungalow and with some open spaces. And they just sell chai and samosa every day. And their monthly turnover is somewhere around 7 to 10 lakh.
I think selling,
So
you become the prime minister, you make a lot of money.
and uh, and the gross margin is somewhere around 95%. So that always is good, right?
But how do you do this, right? So the question I
So
have here
yeah,
is that you see,
sorry, I think I
no,
got
relax,
disconnected.
relax.
Another drawback of video conferencing, people just go missing from meetings, I
No,
think.
no
So,
problem.
but yeah, I'm back.
Yeah. So
So,
building a community, building
any
a
questions? And about the community, I think we are discussing, right,
yeah,
Jagat, right now.
yeah, about community, correct.
So about community building, especially for Vidphone, this is not just about the community building, it's also about marketing. If you within your community also can identify who are going to be the influencers, right? And if you empower them to on their own for scaling up, if you empower them on their own to set up events on the platform and get discussions around that, and they do it from their end, right? Then that would help you build the community, not just building, also continuing the discussion, right? So it's not always possible for us to do it every time, us to be present for these things. So if we can identify these champions who are going to talk about the product and then make them, empower them to do these things, right? Give them the right value to continue to do this thing using your platform, that would create the chatter around that and help you build the community in the long run also to sustain the community. So creating the right value for the stakeholders in building the community, that is going to be very important.
Yeah, no, I think both are very useful. I think
Very useful. Yes.
yeah, I think champions, as I said, we in fact, I was building something called Vidphone Hustle, which is very important because now there is so much unemployment. And I don't know how many of you know, but I started in 2010 post my college and stuff. And one of the main things was, how can a 24 or 25-year-old kind of sustain by himself, right? Without by having his own thing. And in fact, it was also called the own thing. It was the word startup also came later. It was more about a business. So 2008, 9, we didn't even have the word startup. It really came about more mainstream,
True.
10, 11, 12. So for me, it was more about having my own thing, right? And that's what I want to empower people also to do. So, as you said, the champions with the hustle will kind of concretize that, I'll visualize that concept. And also, Kirti is also, I think there's a lot of learnings for me there. And let's see how I can find that mix, because mine is completely virtual business. We hardly meet anyone. And, especially now post COVID. And my target audience also is increasingly knowledge workers who I think have already used Meet or Teams or thing. And they want some less meeting fatigue. They want to be able to have some break. Like for us, it's all about the balance, right? So that's the difference between us and the other guys, is that we have Vmail plus Vidphone. It's a more complete system of synchronous and asynchronous, where you're able to be efficient. Right? Here, you can only do two-way calling all the time. Here, many times, you have people who, for example, are more silent. Like in a team, we want to empower people also who are silent. Now, when you have a conversation like this, typically it's about the people who are more loud, right, in conferencing. But there are many kind of people who take time, and then they may assimilate their thoughts, and still they may have very valuable inputs. That's all not being captured in video meetings today. So that's why we have Vmail, where I can go back, record a Vmail once I've consolidated my thoughts, and that would be more valuable than what people are saying in the conference, right? So this is very important in 2021 and then going forward. So that's how we're differentiating also. So really nice. Thanks. I'll implement both of these. Keep you posted.
Yeah. Yeah, because and guys, Ananya and Kirti, this League of Extraordinary Startups, this Startup Sunday, I think 29 episodes we have done of League of Extraordinary Startups. This is, if I'm not mistaken, the 11th episode of Startup Sunday, where we're just trying to see. I know, we request that you guys can also add more founders to that founders feed. We're trying to, do a lot of knowledge sharing, because many of the folks over there are sharing a lot of articles and what is happening with the innovation space, what is happening, and not just India. Okay, we have people there from Sri Lanka and all that. So we just have to build community. Okay, and trying to, of course, look, you guys are founders. You'll have to make your money. You'll have to survive also. I know all three of you personally, so I can always wish that angle to it. Guys, it is 12:56 right now. Okay, so we should wind up beyond a certain time. But what I want is a summary points, right? So what I want is, I mean, maybe for example, Kirti, you have heard from Ananya, you have heard from Jagat, and maybe you have also crystallized some thoughts in your mind. What
Yes.
could be a couple of action points that you think you can take from the discussion, which is different from what you were doing so far? Because whatever you're doing is working great, but you're still facing some challenges about retaining customers, retaining the staff, training your customers, etc. So any thoughts that you can share, in bullet points if you want to, of your learnings or insights or changes that you could do over the next few months?
Sure. So one of the things is that I'm immediately going to get in touch with Jagat to see, like, what are the solutions and how does it work? Okay, that is, yes, Jagat, even though you are not selling, I'm like, kind of going to get in touch with
Kirti is
you.
buying. Kirti is buying.
So that is one of the takeaways. The other thing is, like, regarding community, Ananya, I think I really liked your a sentence, influencer. Okay, we have to have influencers, right? So um, actually I already have, but I'm not consciously capitalizing this particular information. I can use it to further, like, um, increase the reach of my solution to people. Okay, I think I'm going to get some influencers, especially to talk. Okay, I'm going to do it more, being more aware. So this is the key takeaway for me from this session.
Thank you, Kirti. Thank you, Kirti. Good
It was
luck.
very helpful. Yes.
So I will say that two things were very important. Number one is what Vijetha has said, that health is first. So what I would do is immediately we would implement the job seeker aspect. We would introduce health first customer experience, right? So how we can ensure more healthy environment, how to induce insurance so that the job seekers would feel more healthy in that. And number two is obviously in the back end we are also working on that, but I would concentrate more on the co-branding of platforms. But because we are mostly operating in Europe and US market, so I would identify the enablers there, the co-branding platforms who are not going to be our competitors in the long run. So I would identify that and would definitely leverage that. This could be a good thing. So thank you, all three of you. And in the back end, we are already measuring all the data. But yes, we would also maybe revisit and create some more realistic approach of our target this time, at least from the job seeker side, until everything is done. So thank you, all three of you. It has been really helpful.
Thank you, Anand. And one question. So when you say that your markets are outside, I mean, you're talking about USA, Europe, and everything. But are you looking at the cross-border thing in a sense that job seekers in India looking at US, Europe companies? So how does it work for you?
So because it is mostly for part-time and short-term jobs, so
Okay,
it is
okay.
mostly people with at least student visa
Understood, understood,
in
understood,
those countries.
understood, Ananya. Great, great, fantastic.
No, and
Jagat?
my things as well. I think I put it up. One is, of course, I think the WhatsApp group plus chai samosa has some secret sauce. Though I'm not going out to have chai samosa much. Maybe I'm sure I'll do it on Vidphone. When you're sitting, you change each other virtual chai, virtual samosa. So I'm sure I keep listening. So that's coming up in the backlog. So it's a
Okay.
great guys in a meeting, right? And of course, I think even Ananya's view also, right, about the champions and influencers. I think the hustle model, I will kind of fine tune that. And thanks, I think both of you, and thanks to Vijetha as well for
Yeah,
taking
definitely,
1 hour
definitely.
from your vacation. So that's
No,
uh,
no, not at all. So I'll tell you what happened, right? So precisely at 12 o'clock, my internet conked. Okay. So I ran to I literally, I mean, I had to run quite a bit, but I ran to the reception, sorted out whatever had to be sorted out, and came running back. So,
yesterday we had a power issue. Today we have an internet issue. I mean, I'm doing communication. See, somebody asked
yeah,
me things we need
yeah,
to.
it's crazy, I mean, see, this is a very big challenge because, for example, yesterday we were with the founder, very nice guy, Puneet,
Yeah.
and I think he had both power, electricity, everything, everything. You just make a list of three, four problems. It all happened together simultaneously.
This is customer experience, right?
Yeah, it was a customer experience, and we were like,
Have
anyway.
you seen on Zoom people actually log in through two, three different accounts, especially the hosts, so that if one device gets
Yeah,
dropped
yeah.
off, they can log in from the other one, right?
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. And guys, I'll also tell you something else, right? Because at TiE Bangalore, we keep doing a lot of sessions, cross-border sessions. So there are companies like your Chai Point, which have actually created these webinar packages. Okay, it's very beautifully packaged, and it is given to supposing you're having a 25, you're having a board meeting. Just imagine. So they send this package to each of the board guys home, and everyone's cheering, and it's branded and whatever it is, right? So it's a new business. I mean, business has just changed so dramatically everywhere. So it's
So
crazy. It's
chai
very
at home, chai
yeah,
at home
yeah,
package.
chai at home, and you have a wine and cheese evening, or whatever. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, but then why I'm saying this is Jagat tie-ups or Kirti. I mean, I'm not saying that you offer your customers chai and whatever it is, but like you're sitting where you're sitting, but
Yeah.
your customers are spread all across and your staff is spread all across. So and it is linked to community. Okay, because you are also building a community. You're trying to bring that warmth and the goodwill and whatever it is, right? So I think each one of us has got to think about some of these ideas: community, sales, training, coaching, influencers, champions. What can we do together? And Ananya, you're talking about people outside of India. So there's so much of synergy, so many thought processes. Your mind just opens up like a tube light.
True.
Okay.
Right.
And Ananya and Kirti, you guys have been added to this founders feed. So one day I want to do individual sessions also with you folks. All right, number one. Number two, we are also looking at knowledge sessions. For Ananya, you also have a legal background, right?
Right.
You are someone who can really share some very nice insights. Again, if you are comfortable, please, at no point of time. I would
Happy
love,
to.
yeah. And we have done this before, right, Ananya? We have physical sessions, but I would love to, to pick your brains. Maybe we can do a simple 15-20 minute, series of knowledge sessions and brand yourself, boss. Please, you're doing this for the community, but you should find customers
Right.
for yourself, right? And like, okay, guys, just to let you know, I know Kirti and her husband Prabhu. Uh, b- Before you even joined, if you remember, right, we had met.
Yes.
Yeah, we met at a common friend's house because Pushpa's friend, and
Correct.
I remember I was sitting there and you guys were talking to me about how
It
you
was
like practice.
Ganpati Day. It was
Yeah, it was the
Ganpati festival.
Ganesha.
Yes,
So we
yes,
had come, and I think even my father-in-law had come, if I'm not mistaken. Like, yeah. So yeah.
yes.
It was 3 years back. We had come. Yeah. So it's a very small world. Okay, so we do know each other as people as well, and then NASCOM, of course, because we used to always sit it together. They used to
Correct.
always, and it is amazing fun, amazing fun. Of course, Jagat, we know each other as well. So
Correct.
guys,
And Jagat also we know actually because Jagat and Prabhu studied at the same college. So it is
yeah,
really a
yes,
small
yes,
world,
yes, yes. Very small world. So I
Ananya,
think.
I'm sure if we are going to speak to you further, there are definitely going to be some common links with you as well. I'm very sure about that.
Absolutely.
Definitely. I mean, when it comes to Bangalore, we end up always finding a connection.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. So, and this is the thing, right? I think Bangalore is an innovation cluster because there are so many like-minded people coming together, the community is there, but we are still not done even 1% of what we can do and what we're capable of doing. And look, let's be also clear, you're not just doing this for the sake of doing this, Kirti and Jagat. By doing this, can we also grow ourselves, right? Can we grow ourselves in terms of our professional job? Ananya's got a different background, but now she's doing a different company, but she has to grow, she has to make money. Kirti, you guys, touch wood, you have got customers, but you have certain challenges to scale up. Okay, so maybe Jagat can provide those solutions, and Jagat has to be a professional, even if he knows you and you
Yeah,
all know each other, but he has to give you cutting edge solutions, otherwise you will say, yeah, I'll go to someone else. Okay.
correct. That's
So
very true.
yeah, true. And let's stay in touch. And 105 Sunday afternoon. Thank you, Ananya. Thank you, Kirti. You all are,
Thank you so much.
busy folks. Jagat is a young father, and his son is a top coder and programmer. Huh? Not Whitehead Junior. What is below Junior,
not
Jagat?
yet.
Huh?
White Hat KG?
White hat toddler.
Yeah,
White hat toddler.
yeah. So
Serious.
so Jagat, you're an edtech company. You're an edtech company, dude. You're a knowledge company, right? So you got to figure these solutions out, and whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you so
Cheers.
much, everybody. Yeah. Thank
Enjoy your Sunday.
you. Around your
Thank you.
social media,
You
that.
too. Bye.
And thanks so much. Bye.
Yeah. Thanks, Jagat. Take care, man.
Thanks. Good day.
Bye bye. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Really good.
Cheers. Bye bye. Yeah. Bye bye.